Hey, you're here. Session number 3, where we're going to talk about marketing. Now, your role may not mean that you do marketing. Actually, your title may have nothing to do with marketing. You might fall under the marketing team at your organization. There's been some studies that about 10 to 15% of partner teams fall under the marketing discipline, the marketing framework. You might report up to the CMO, whatever that might mean for your organization. You know what I found? Whether you are under the sales organization or you are in the marketing organization, you kind of just, as a partner manager, you might find yourself doing all the different disciplines. Maybe your partner team is you. You might be the one that's in charge of everything, setting the vision, the mission, working with the marketing, and creating this story that invites your partners into telling your product and sharing out the vision and how their customer, ultimately your all customer, is going to succeed. Lots of words in there. We'll clarify that here in a moment. You might be the sales role as well, having to make that successful. So we'll talk about that in our next session. But for today, we're going to talk about a framework that's going to help you creating marketing messaging that's helpful for your partners. Now, in my experience, one of the greatest challenges that organizations have is when they apply their marketing framework to their partners. And they expect that their partner sales team can just carry on the marketing to their customer. But the fundamental problem with that is that actually you're skipping over a whole set of customers that you didn't even consider. Here's what I mean. You first have to sell your product and your partnership to your partner team. That's first and foremost your marketing asset, your marketing goal. Win over your partner. Sometimes that means to win them over just for a contract. A lot of times it means after the contract is signed is now winning over all the sellers to position and pitch your product versus a competitor that's also in their book of business. There's a lot of different dynamics that go into helping that partnership, that seller, choose and use your product. But one of the greatest pieces of that puzzle is your marketing. What are you doing to help your partner seller tell your story? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because it's how you tell your story, your company story to your partner that makes the difference between actively engaging prospects and future customers versus not. So we're going to use a framework that's going to help you tell 7 pillars, 7 steps of actually how to tell a story. Because the story resonates with every one of us. We all love to hear a good story. That's why we were willing to sit in front of a TV for hours, watching a movie, binge watching Netflix, watching Hulu, whatever is your choice. You don't sit for a very long period of time unless you're engaged in a story. Think about it. When a movie's not going well, there's not a realistic problem, there's not a guide helping that hero be successful, you don't really know what the end character wants. There's a lot of things that go on that say, I don't really want this. And so you're willing to leave or, you know what, not be a promoter of that movie after you've watched it. Every great story has 7 parts. And during this course, we're going to talk about all 7 of those and how you can easily use them to tell your story about your product to help your partner be successful. Because that's the end game here. We want to help our partners be successful. And so in this story that we're going to tell today, we first have to identify who is our main character. Who's the hero of this story? Well, it might surprise you that the hero is not you. You are not the hero of this story. In fact, you don't want to be the hero of this story. Think about it. The hero is somebody in the story that has to go through this transformation from the nerd to the hero. From the person that's rejected and struggling internally, that has an identity crisis, that fails and makes mistakes, and then eventually comes out on top. You are not the hero. And that's important to know in partnerships. Who's the hero? You guessed it. The hero is the partner. You want to help that partner be successful. And so you have to identify, first and foremost, in your marketing messaging, what does our partner want? What do they want to accomplish? What is it about their business that they need to get across the line? Do they have to hit a quota? How do they get paid? Have you considered that they have this challenge that they have to work within as well? When you first identify what your partner wants to accomplish, you can begin to curate your story, your incentives, the whole rest of your program around helping your partner be successful by helping them achieve what they want to achieve. They need to get from here to here, and it is your job to help them get there. So you first identify, what do they want? Who do they want to become? We could call this their transformational or their aspirational identity. Who do they want to become? Hey, I want to be a successful salesperson. I want to be able to buy that new car. I want to get the most incentives. I want to go on that trip. I want to provide for my family. I don't want to lose my job. There's lots of things that they want to accomplish. There's 3 problems typically that they want to solve for. First, the external problem. What is that thing that partner salesperson, that partner wants to accomplish? And what challenges are they going to have? Can they not engage with a certain type of customer on their end? Do they have competitors that they have to work against? They also have internal problems. See, first we identify the character, then we say we need to identify the problem. And the problem is external, other resellers, potentially other partners, other competitors. The internal problem, what are they struggling with internally? Do they feel confident and comfortable in your solution that they're willing to go to their book of business and pitch your product? You've got to overcome that. And then lastly, a philosophical problem. There's got to be something that inside that says, I got to fight this injustice. Maybe that philosophical problem is, we don't believe that it should be that hard for you to hit your quota. And we know that our solution is going to help you do that. So we have our hero, our character. We've identified what do they want to get. Who do they want to become? What's getting in their way? What external, internal, and then philosophical problems are they facing? Then enters the guide. Think Gandalf to Frodo or Bilbo. Think of a person that is coming alongside the hero to encourage them and exhort them and push them along to help them achieve their mission. Now, the guide in this story is somebody that's already been there. They can provide empathy because they know how hard it is, and they provide authority. Hey, I've been here and I've accomplished this. If you haven't guessed it yet, this is where you come in. When you're telling that marketing story to your partner, you need to identify yourself as the guide. You're not the hero. You're helping them achieve their mission. And the way for them to achieve their mission is by guiding them along through the solution that you're going to provide. And you're going to do that as a guide that provides empathy. You can relate with them. You can acknowledge what's going on. You can assure them that, hey, we're going to get through this. Why? Because you have authority. We've done this before. We have 100 other customers. Other customers in this industry have solved this problem with this way. And that's going to provide some confidence in your partner team, in the sellers, to feel confident in bringing it forward. But then there's this question. Is it going to be hard? Every partner seller, every partner that you work with is going to say, is this an easy process for me? You have to make it easy. You cannot make this process complicated. And we'll talk about that in a later module course class around operationally, have you made it easy for your partner to engage, to track, and to work with your team? But in this marketing message that you're creating to your seller, to the partner seller, you need to say, the process is easy for you to achieve your mission. Here's how it is. You lay out a 3-step plan. That's right. 3 steps. And it's imperative that you keep it to 3, maybe at most 4. But there's something that goes on in the human psyche, in the human brain, that says if you give me 4 or 5 or 6 steps, engagement drops like crazy. Imagine this. Hey, you want to achieve your quota? We can do that. We can make that really simple for you because we've sold this product through hundreds of other customers in this same exact industry. Here's the step to do it. You ready? All right, first you have to have a stakeholder, have a prep meeting, send out the marketing, schedule a webinar. Then we can get our stakeholder on. Once you fill out the form that's about 10 pages long of questions that we need to verify and validate and qualify for your lead to even qualify for a deal registration. Then we'll get on a demo. We won't include you. We'll make sure that that customer is the right fit. We'll ask the exact same questions that you've already asked. Then we'll run a proof of concept with them. We'll offer that. Of course, it will be paid, which you can't sell that because that's not in your book of business. But don't worry, they'll get a proof of concept. They'll deploy it. We'll work with them for about 3 months to deploy our solution, then test it out. And then when they're ready, we'll sell it. How many of you would even give me the time of day? You wouldn't. See, you have to give a 3-step process that's quick and engaging, but very thorough. And here's how you do it. If your process of selling your product is multiple steps, you've got to find groupings to communicate to your seller. Here's how we've done it in the past. Hey, achieving your quota with our product is going to be extremely easy. In fact, the process to engage and work with us is very simple. First, you look for customers in this industry. Second, you ask them if they'd like a demo of our product. Third, you reach out to us and we work with you to schedule that time. That's it. That's how you engage. Or you ask your customer this question. You go to our website and fill out the deal reg form. Our team will respond and work with you on next steps. See, the first 2 steps are super easy. Ask a question, fill out a form. Ask a couple questions, schedule a demo, sell the product. We know there's going to be more steps. Everyone knows that. But if we communicate that in our early evangelizing of our product, in our marketing message, we're going to lose our audience. And it is so important in the chaos of the noisy world of hundreds, potentially hundreds of other vendors reaching out to that same rep, vying for their attention. You've got to keep your message clear and you've got to keep it simple. So as the guide, give them 3 steps. Ask this question, submit a lead, schedule a demo. Look at your book of business, pull out the ones in this industry, schedule a call with your account rep. Ask your customer, submit a lead, schedule a demo, sell the product. When you keep it simple, now in the brain of the seller, they can see there's a path forward. I can do this. And then the 5th step in this process is the guide needs to make a call to action. There are too many times where as a partner manager, I didn't ask for the sale. Here's what I mean by that. I didn't ask for the sale from my customer. No. I didn't ask my partner seller to engage. I gave them the route to do it. I made it simple, right? I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. Here's the reality though. You can't exhort them. You can invite them to take part in it. And that's what a call to action is. When you make that call to action, after laying out the 3 steps, you're inviting your partner to be engaged. You're inviting them to take that next step. That's all they need. They don't need to be coerced. They don't need to be incentivized always either. They just need to be invited into the process. So invite them. Schedule a call today. Submit a lead today. Join our webinar. Fill out the deal reg today. Give them a sense of urgency. And that will begin to help your hero, right? The partner seller, the hero in this story, begin to engage and help them achieve, again, what are they trying to achieve? Their mission, not yours, their mission. So then what happens a lot of times is these partner sellers, well-meaning, they say, great, this is helpful. I know how to engage. I know I need to. I'm going to go look at my book of business. I'm going to do some more research. I'll get back to you. And you all know how that goes. We're well-meaning people. We want to get back. We see the validity. But the challenge in that moment is the rest of the world starts to shout. You hear it. Your competitors now have a webinar or a call or an email. Their customer needs a completely different product and solution that has nothing to do with yours. Life changes. The economy changes. And something that could have only been a day or two took months, if not weeks, if not months to engage. And then by then they've kind of forgotten about how easy it is to work with you. So you got to start all over. Here's how you can combat that as a partner manager to your partner team, right? At the other company. And as you send them away, you paint the stakes. Not physically paint stakes, like you don't get out paint and a brush and get a stake. Not like a meat steak. I was thinking more like a wood steak. Okay, this is too far. Essentially, what you do is you remind them of what success will look like, and you remind them of what it looks like if they don't. Now, in this case, you have to do both. You have to tell them the possibilities of them working with you, how quick we're going to get to close the sale, how easy it is they're going to hit their quota, how they're going to get to go on that, presidential trip or whatever it is, the pinnacle trophy that they might get. I don't know. You're going to remind them that when they engage with you, all these good things are going to happen, and you need to create a list. Lots of sugar, like so much sugar, right? Like you're making a sugar cookie. You just need to pile in the sugar. Make it sweet. Make it just exciting for them to work with you. Maybe include incentives in this. Maybe that's where you have some extra margin or a rebate or a trip or an Apple Watch or an iPad or whatever it is. You guys know how to motivate through gifts. We'll talk about incentives a little bit later too. But here is where you just paint the stakes, how they are going to get to where they need to get to. Then, a little bit of salt. What does that mean? You need to give them a little bit of negativity if they fail. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could mean the difference between you achieving your quota and you not. One deal. We all know that happens. Could be the difference between that customer going with you versus going with your competitor. Why? Because we don't integrate with that other one, or we don't resell through that other partner. Work with us. Whatever that is. Lots of good stakes. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of negativity will help remind them, don't layer on. Nobody likes bitter. Put on lots of sugar, make it really great, and your marketing will drastically change. Because again, we need to market to our partner sellers. So as a quick recap, here's how you can create a really engaging, clear, simple marketing tool for you to engage with your partner teams wherever you may be. First, you identify who's your character and what do they want to accomplish. You clarify the problem, their internal, external, and philosophical problem. You introduce yourself as the guide that's going to help them get to where they want to go by introducing empathy and providing yourself as the authority. Then as the guide, you're going to provide a 3-step plan that's going to help them get to where they want to go. You're going to call them to action. You're going to invite them to take that next step. And then lastly, you're going to paint the stakes. You're going to say the possibility. You're going to paint the beautiful picture of what's possible. And you're going to give them just a little bit of bitterness. And remind them, hey, if you don't engage, here's what's possible. Here's what's not going to happen. I hope that's helpful for you. Up-level your marketing tool today. We'll see you at session 4.